guys! We are here today for a very special reason. We got invited to the Last of Us HBO show first episode world premiere fancy schmancy event.
Because we're better than you.
Basically. And while the reviews are pouring in, we wanted to tell you what we thought about the first episode.
And the experience of going to the event and schmoozing with the people like Neil Druckmann.
Rubbing elbows.
He rubbed his elbow a little too hard. You had to ask Shelby to stop rubbing his elbow. Because if you're gonna bribe us with an after party and drinks and goodie bags, then we need to incorporate that into what we think of your show.
First things first.
Okay.
We saw the first episode only. Did you like it?
I did not like it. I loved it.
It was really good.
It was pretty good.
It was really freaking good.
It was pretty good.
And I've sat through that game like 3 or 4 times now, and I went into it being like, I'm not gonna cry.
And then she certainly cried.
Very much in public, surrounded by famous people.
Yeah. Okay, now remember, we're not allowed to spoil anything. In fact, before the show started, Nick Offerman came on the speakers and he said that
if we spoil anything,
he will, I think the exact words were, he would destroy us.
And he mentioned us by name.
Specifically, he pointed us out. The first thing we should discuss is the casting, which is the thing that I think the most people are curious about, because gamers have been fan casting a movie in their heads since the original game came out.
We always knew that whoever was going to inevitably play live action Joel and Ellie, they would have some humongous shoes to fill.
Yes, I think that's a major concern. How can you replace Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson?
That's fine. A couple of days from now, we'll probably be dead anyway.
It was a worry that I had.
Sure.
I was a little worried, however. I'm happy to announce that I was wrong to worry. Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey are Joel and Ellie. I think they crushed it.
I think they crushed its butt.
Pedro Pascal does an amazing Joel.
Great Joel.
I can't wait for him to tell me that he is not my daddy.
I can. I don't think I'll be able to handle it.
And Bella Ramsey as Ellie, a little bit stole the show. A little,
yeah.
I think.
Sorry.
She's really good.
Really good. That's so Ellie. That's so Ellie. The moment that they crossed paths was instant chemistry. And what you said before was that you were worried for whoever was going to have to replace Troy and Ashley. I would argue that they didn't replace them. They built upon it.
Yes, good way to put it. So with the success of casting a live action Joel and Ellie out of the way, that brings us to the setting. Because in The Last of Us, the world and environment is a character in itself.
It is. Oh, I love that. The folks behind the costumes, the set design, the props, the lighting. Special effects. You guys absolutely crushed it. I felt like I was in the game.
I have never seen anything like this as far as video game adaptations go. Now, I didn't have the game playing side by side with the episode, but guaranteed the day after this episode airs, there's gonna be comparison videos. I know that they won't be exactly mirror images, but when you're watching it, it feels like, man, every raindrop or piece of scrap metal is straight out of the game. And I don't think anyone's ever successfully done that before. There's a new bar now for video game adaptations.
Sorry, Mila Jovovich.
To be fair, though, to other video game adaptations, The Last of Us was already so much like a movie, and there's a lot of cutscenes and a lot of set pieces that lend themselves to one-to-one recreations. The last thing we should discuss are the moments of The Last of Us where the storytelling doesn't happen during a cutscene, it happens during gameplay, because that's really the tricky part of making a video game adaptation. I don't know how much they're going to play with this in future episodes, but in episode 1, I did notice that the cinematography gets more immersive during moments of the show that are being adapted from moments in the game where you're controlling the camera. It's not in your face like the Doom movie where it's like a first person all of a sudden and it's like cheesy, but they do kind of get more creative with the camera work to immerse you more, if that makes sense. But before we give you our final score, we need to discuss the event itself.
That's right, because all of the little schmoozing and elbow rubbing and sparkly shiny things and free food they dangled into our faces, that's going to factor into this final score. The premiere itself. First of all, it was so pouring rain, which I did not appreciate. So next time, make sure you discuss it with clouds.
It just so happened that the moment we arrived, the whole cast were on the red carpet at that moment. We just walked in completely wet, glasses covered in water.
I couldn't
see. And I know Pedro Pascal was not thinking about us at all.
No, he was. He was.
But on the off chance that he's a huge fan, we're sorry, Pedro Pascal, if you really wanted to meet us, but we were too wet. So that was fun though, to see people people on the red carpet.
It was just like the
Getting
movies.
their photos taken.
We
It's just
saw
like
them
you
all.
see on the TV.
And then we went into the theater. We had tickets. We were like, okay, we're probably in the nosebleeds back there. Here we go. We're going to our seats. The row is D. And we're like, oh my God, maybe we got really nice
Yeah, putting us
seats.
in the good seats. We see like, famous people and we see like, oh, there's Troy Baker. But we pass him. They put us ahead of Troy Baker.
We're like, goodbye, Troy. Enjoy the back of my head. And then, and then we see D. It's very close to the screen.
Front row. It was very big.
There was a crick in the neck.
It was a huge
Here's a
big-
reenactment of us
Okay.
watching the episode in our seats.
Yeah.
Okay, so we watch the show, we get up and we go. Guess what? We were invited to the after party. We walk in, wow, a huge, beautiful set piece, gorgeous lighting, people walking around. What is it? Is it behind it? And I can't hear what they're saying to me, and I'm like, yes, yeah. DJ making noise.
DJ making a little too much noise.
That's another note.
No, there was no dance floor or anything. So if there's no dance floor, hey,
I'm trying to talk to my friends here.
I can't hear. My voice is cracking because I'm talking loudly. And then when you talk loudly, it's like you're making more breath. And so people's breath are hitting you and you're worried now that your breath is hitting them because you're, nice to meet you. The really cool part was the drinks. They were themed. The clicker, there was something about the QZ, and there was look for the light. And it had a light. So it was this glowing drink. My one thing is, we had just watched a really scary show about gross fungi that causes problems. And all of the drinks had fungi flavored syrup in them. So it was like, tequila, but also like shiitake. Besides getting drinks and taking photos at the cool set pieces they made, there was also a very long line to stand in to get a survival kit.
It says, warning, cancer and reproductive harm.
So we're gonna have to knock some points off for that. So this was really fun to do, and I really like this so much. And in 40 years, I'm gonna take this to Pawn Stars and retire, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Here's my critique for this really cool and thoughtful, free, nice thing that you gave me. When I opened this, it's an actual survival kit. There's gauze in here. I wanted a toy,
I think it's cool.
not gauze. It is cool though. I'm being ungrateful.
Ungrateful.
But a little bit, I wanted candy. While we were in line for those survival things, it was right by the dessert table, and Shelby just kept grabbing them.
Well, just like you
And-
wanted to try one of each drink, I wanted to try
I
one of
wasn't-
each dessert.
I didn't have 3 drinks in my hand at once though.
So efficient. Another fun thing was all of the cool people that we got to meet.
And now listen, I told Shelby to be cool.
I was so
I told
cool.
Shelby to be cool. I said, you gotta act like you know how to hang. Okay, this is HBO here. But Shelby was just like a meerkat, just,
I like to look.
which is fine, I get it. I was also looking. There's Jeff Keighley. I was so excited when I saw Jeff Keighley. That first episode of Last of Us is a little better because Jeff Keighley was there that night, I think.
But here's the thing. When you're at one of these events, you don't want to bother.
Yeah, anyone who is a part of the show or the really famous people, this is their big night. We didn't want to be one of the thousands of people going up and we don't want to interrupt anything. So we were very polite about that. Although next time, Troy Baker, be certain that if I see you again, you will know who I am. Having said that about us being polite and not invading anyone's space, Jeff Keighley,
Did not get that kindness.
he had nothing to do with the show. So we saw Jeff Keighley and
Said, hello.
we're gonna interrupt your evening right now. Luckily,
Incoming girlfriend reviews.
his evening consisted of walking around alone eating a cupcake.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. He had
In that
plenty
mo-
of folks to talk
oh,
to.
he was-
And then we saw one opening and we said,
He was very
It's a go
busy
time.
until he wasn't, and he had his brief moment to eat his cupcake,
and we pounced.
We pounced on Jeff Keighley. We weren't sure if he knew who we were. We have done a lot of jokes about Jeff Keighley, and Shelby's dressed up as him and sang a song, and he did like that post.
He interacted with it and he followed us.
So we thought maybe, and then when we went up to him, he didn't quite know who we were, but then when we told him, he goes, oh yeah.
Yeah, girlfriend reviews. Yeah, I know. We were like, okay, Jeff.
And then he was very nice,
He was so nice.
and he invited us to the Game Awards.
He said, you better come to the Game Awards. And I said, okay, yeah. And he said, here, let me have your email. And I said, okay, yeah. And here's the email we got from him.
It said from Jeff Keighley, subject, hey, and in the body of the email, nothing, just
Nothing.
blank. And then
The only other person that we really would have liked to talk to, but arguably was the most sought after person of the night, was Neil Druckmann.
Yeah, if this was anybody's night, I think it was probably Neil Druckmann's.
It was Neil's night.
But listen, Neil Druckmann, in the past, he reached out to us.
That's right, he slid in the Twitter DMs.
Yeah, and he was very nice to us in Twitter.
He was very kind to us about our Understanding The Last of Us Part 2 video and the subsequent Place That Shall Not Be Named drama.
We felt compelled to, say, hey, we appreciate your support, but he was very busy. It wasn't happening because he's the guy, And as we're leaving,
who other but Neil Druckmann taps on our shoulders.
He says,
wait.
I wanted to talk to you before you leave. So nice.
Wow.
So we got to talk to Neil Druckmann.
And he was just delightful.
And I got to ask him a few things.
That's right.
And he said, this is off the record. And I said, of course, Neil. But obviously, Neil, I'm going to tell everyone right now what you said. Neil told me that Last of Us Part 3 is done. It's coming out next week. Uh-oh, there's an airplane.
Neil?
Oh my God. Neil called the police because we told the secrets. No. Just kidding. Neil didn't tell us any big secrets. But based on what I've heard, on the grapevine from the big grape himself, Neil Druckmann, it sounds like HBO and Naughty Dog aren't around. And based on what we saw in the first episode, and just like the event itself and just like the vibe of everyone, you could tell that people were proud. It's my guess that the show's gonna be successful and that Naughty Dog has some big things planned.
All right, well, shall we calculate our final score for the first episode of The Last of Us on HBO? Let's start with our 10 out of 10. We were wet.
Yeah.
It was raining, so. No popcorn.
We were too intimidated to stand in line to get popcorn.
Too nervous to ask. I also have down here that Neil did not mention us in his speech before the episode started.
That's
so
true.
Go ahead and take one off for that. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to take this from the score. We had to remind Jeff Keighley of who we were. So go ahead and take that down.
Yeah.
I have on here in my notes, survival kit had no candy, and then mushroom stuff.
The mushroom drinks were...
Too many mushrooms for Matt. But you know what? You can add that back. I like the mushrooms.
Okay, so it evens out.
All right. So I guess our final score is a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, jokes about bribery aside. This is not shilling. We are not bootlicking. It actually was genuinely really good.
It was really good. I was very moved and I was very impressed.
At least as far as the first episode goes. I have no idea. From episode 2 on, it could be a complete shit show. We don't know.
Yeah, like they could, like, main character season make you somebody.
So yeah, it was really fun for us, and we hope you like this quick video.
Keep your eyes peeled for an actual episode of Girlfriend Reviews coming at you very soon.
And you know what? After all that elbow rubbing and schmoozing at the after party, we needed to get clean.
That's so true, and it's perfect because I am so loaded up on Dr. Squatch soaps. Take it away, ad read.
That's right, it's squatching time. You know I love me some Dr. Squatch products. Their soaps are rich, buttery, silky, gorgeous, and handmade. Did I use enough adjectives to entice? No. How about natural? 98% natural, in fact. I'm not even that natural if you consider the crown on my tooth and the sodies in my belly, but it's not just soaps they're slinging. They've got something for every step of your routine. I've actually done my full routine with just Dr. Squatch stuff. Hair? Check. Teeth? Check. Armpits? Big old check. And none of those are ever made with harsh chemicals or harmful ingredients. Just naturally derived heavenly scents and good vibes. Seriously, look at the label. I can pronounce all of those ingredients. Maybe I'm a genius, but I don't think so. To make things even easier for you, Dr. Squatch has a super convenient subscription service, so you never run out of your favorites when your butt stinks. It's been really rainy here, so I've been enjoying the citrus scents to remind me that I am in fact in California. You're gonna want to try some for yourself, so please click the link in our description and use code DSQGFR, because newcomers get 20% off on orders of $20 or more. Thank you so much to Dr. Squatch for sponsoring this video. It really helps keep us going. And thank you so much for watching the ad read and our videos. We really appreciate it.